Hey everyone, what's up? It's Tony here, and welcome to episode number 20 of the Return of Kaiserslautern, my Football Manager 2020 YouTube rebuilding series. It's the end of season 2. We've narrowly missed out on the playoffs, as you saw in the last episode. We have one game left against Karlsruhe, and there's a little bit of local rivalry there, so it should be quite a good game to sign off on. We also do an end of season debrief, maybe look at some areas to improve for next year. We'll give out some awards, player of the season, young player of the season, goal of the season, but essentially that's pretty much what we've got to look forward to here. If you enjoy it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, comments below. As always, I will get back to you, but let's go and enjoy the final game of the season against Karlsruhe and the return of Kaiserslautern. Now, as you saw in the last episode, guys, we've missed out on the playoffs from Bundesliga 2, sadly. It was all in our hands, sort of. Obviously, once we lost to Wiesbaden, it was all over. But we have one final game left. We face Karlsruhe. As we say in the intro, there's a bit of rivalry between us and Karlsruhe. They beat us previously in the season, so I'm kind of hoping for a bit of revenge, really. Overall, I suppose, look at the table, there's a reason we're not getting promoted this year. 15 wins, 11 draws. That's a lot of drop points, to be honest. Only 7 defeats, but I think those draws have really come back to sort of bite us a little bit. And we're going to look for a little bit more killer instinct next season and hopefully try and push towards those playoff spots, because I think the squad's good enough, to be honest. We've proven this season that, on the whole, we're actually a better team than people gave us credit for. I suppose really the form there does kind of conclude what we've just said there. Inconsistent form coming into this match. Karlsruhe, excellent form, so we are pretty much in for a decent game, but possibly up against it. I'm hoping that we can win. I know we're travelling to their place. It would have been nice to have had a final game of the season at home. But, we won our last match against Heidenheim, so at least our fans have seen a victory as we leave the season. Obviously, looking at the squad, not too many changes. It could be Bjarnason's last match. We don't know. His future's still hanging in the balance because he's still yet to sign that contract. Gottwald is in centre-half there. Maya, of course, we've had on loan. So he may be still there next season. We've got to double check that loan agreement, see if he's on a 1 year or a 2 year. But as we say, overall, I think the players can be pleased with what they've done. I think they've overachieved because, granted, at the start of the season, we probably weren't expected to be anywhere near 5th. And therefore, they've earned this, to be honest. Asta powering down that wing there. I'm going to miss him if he's not there next season. He's been a great player. Liadji, of course, going close early doors, 2 minutes in, and already just putting his stamp on the game. And every episode is me saying just how brilliant Liadji is. And he is. He absolutely... Come on, that's a horrible foul. Horrible foul there. I suppose that seems to be the only way to slow the midfield down, is just to whack it. Great tackle there from Asta as well, by the way, who again I spoke about in the last video. Very, very impressed with him. I'll be amazed if we can get him back next season. He's clearly going to be too expensive to buy, and judging on some of his performances this year, I can't see his parent. Oh, that was close. The Iceman almost getting a headed goal in there. Very, very close, just wide of the post there. But no, we were saying that Asta, some of the performances he's put in this season, I think his parent club are going to look at that and go, we are not letting this guy out of our sights again, because he's been really good. He really has. He's been excellent. Whether he can make the step up to Bundesliga or Bundesliga equivalent, wherever he's going to go in the future, maybe he can. I think he's probably got enough in him. Great save there from up off, straight at the goalkeeper, but a worrying chance to concede there. Oh no, Hoffman charging forward, he's robbed him. Good stop again. I'll be honest, I will get this sentence out. if my defenders don't do things like that and make me panic a bit. Because I'm just waxing lyrical about a player that we've got on loan and saying he's very good and saying that he is probably good enough to play at the higher level that we hope to be at. And, okay, that's not too bad. Yes, of course, it had to be. Look at 14 goals for the season for Isaac Liadji. Bergman just teased the free kick in, and we've sort of come away with one here, haven't we? We've conceded a couple of great chances at the other end, and Uphoff's kept us in the game so far. We've not really looked like we've created much up front, but you've always got a chance when Mr. Liadji's around, isn't he? And I suppose that says it all, doesn't it? 3 shots we've had in that first half, 6 for the hosts, who will probably feel slightly aggrieved that they're going in a goal down at half time, but got to take your chances. That's what it's all about. In Liadji, we've got a guy who will take his chances, and I am still quite surprised at how many goals he gets with his head, given how the fact he's not particularly tall. Great save by Uphoff. But the linesman's flag's up anyway. Sorry, referee's assistance flag is up anyway for offside. As I say, I'm quite surprised at how many headed goals Liadji gets, because he's only short. He's only about 5'8", I think. But he does seem to weigh in with quite a few, so very happy about that. Very happy indeed. Just need to get a little bit tighter on some marking. Good stop. I know we look good going forward, but defensively we're still a bit suspect, aren't we? We really need. I think that's going to be where a lot of our money gets spent in the summer. Is going to be on defence. Here's Liadji, comes charging forward, plays a 1-2, the Iceman draws the foul and gets a free kick right on the edge of the area. Really smart play from Liadji. Bergman puts it in, and sadly it doesn't amount to anything this time. But it's another sign of intent. It's another sort of warning to the opposition that obviously we are dangerous on set plays. Lovely ball. Florent Pick ends the move. A lovely little give and go on the edge of the area. Fantastic through ball from Chifchi. And Pick's had a great season as well, hasn't he? I'll be honest with you, he was always going to play. He was always going to play, but I don't think he was ever going to be my... come the end of the season, I was maybe not going to be going, oh yeah, Florent Pick's probably a shoe-in for starting next season. If you'd have asked me that at the start of the season, I probably would have thought, well, give him a year, and if he does well, then great, but if not, we can look for somebody else. But he's played fantastic this season. He's really been one of the most consistent players I think we've probably had in the side. Lovely ball, and that's a great save by the... sorry, it wasn't a save, it actually just went straight over the top. I thought it was a save there from I think Bjarnason. Which again, what we're going to do with him, I don't know. Is he going to sign the deal? Is he not? Your guess is as good as mine, viewers. Really is. Great stop there. You know what? I need to put my contact lenses in, because I'm saying a lot of these are saves and they're not. They're just going wide or over. Nice little ball here by Bergman to Liadji. Just retain possession. Nothing we need to do massively at this point. Actually, no, we do need to do something. We need to maybe keep our sort of eyes peeled a little bit, and then just a little bit of calamity there from Uphoff. Just bringing additional pressure that we don't really need. I'm happy at 2-0. Let's not make it 2-1 and make a game of it. Let's just kill the game off. That's fine. We don't need entertainment in the last game of the season. Lovely, just scoots round there. Great ball back. Nice ball, and just a wild shot. I think possibly from Chifchi, maybe. But never mind. He's certainly struck better. Great save. Brilliant save there. Flags up again though for offside. But Uphoff's been called upon a lot, hasn't he? God, Florent Pick. Oh. So this has been a decent match, mine, to be honest. Especially if you're neutral. If you're a Karlsruhe fan, probably not. the best match for you, especially as it looks like we're going to move into fourth position now to finish the season. I mean, that's brilliant, isn't it? What's that? 3 points behind Paderborn. If we'd have done better against Wiesbaden, it would have gone down to goal difference, and I don't know, would that have been enough for us to go into the playoffs? Oh, I mean, that's just like, we can't live on what ifs. We can't live on what ifs. We have to just go with what's happened and move forward and use it for motivation for next year. But that's a great way to end the season. 2-0. Liadji pick, yeah, just spot on. Great header. Lovely goal as well by Pick, that little give and go. Fourth position in the league. Like, very, very happy. Yeah, no, looking at the goal difference there, that defeat against Wiesbaden wouldn't have made any difference unless we'd have beaten Wiesbaden by 6-0. We'd have had to have won 6-0. And given the fact that we didn't win 6-0, would have been, that would have been incredibly difficult. So overall, I think we've really done quite well. I think we've made a good performance of ourselves. Looking at where we match up against other players around the league. So what we've got there. So average rating, Bachmann's up third. Aster's played, has won the most offsides. Chifchi, 94% pass completion from Chifchi. Just the engine man, as we've been calling him. The end of season overall 11, we've managed to get a couple of players moved in. Of course, Liadji is in there, Aster's in there, Lucas Mai, Uphoff, Anil Aiden's come in as well, which is great, and I really sort of expect him to start progressing as we go further on in his career. The end of season awards, that's a surprise actually, Bachmann being player of the season for the fans. I would have thought it would have been Chifchi, to be honest, but 50% of the fans went with Bachmann, 22% for Bergman, only 17% for Liadji. Okay, young player of the season, Bergman. Signing of the season, obviously, Liadji. And Chifchi with the goal of the season against Würzburg. I mean, to be honest, you look at that and you think, you can't really complain with any of that, really. Although Bergman at 24 for young player of the season, it's a bit touch and go, that, isn't it? But this is the goal anyway against Würzburg for Chifchi. Yeah, that's an absolute thunderbolt. That's totally got to be in a conversation. So I'm happy enough with that being the goal of the season. I don't think we can really argue with that. Stats-wise, Liadji finished top scorer, 14 goals. Bachmann got an average of 7.36. Chifchi with 9 assists, the same as Simon Aster. So again, proving just how important he was at right wing back. Best passing completion, 94% from Chifchi. 8 player of the match awards from Yannick Bachmann. 6 yellow cards for Ambrosius and for Liadji. He liked to get his foot stuck in a little bit. Season review, of course, few will have tipped us to have been capable of avoiding relegation. Never mind getting 4th. That's where he finished 4th. I can't really say anything more, really. I'm very happy with that. We've used 28 players, 3rd highest in the league. There's the expectations that were set out in front of us. We obviously still wanted to be developing our young players, and we will do that. I was going to show some of the youth setup that we've got, but at the minute we've kind of only got a bunch of 2.5-star players, so there was 10 minutes of looking at 2.5-star players, which we don't want to see. There's the dynamics, the squad dynamics, and everyone seems pretty happy. A couple of players obviously not too happy. I mean, Christoph Helmlein still a bit annoyed that Liadji's there, but I mean, come on. He's clearly stepped into that role, hasn't he? It's not like we've brought him in and then he's been bad. Liadji came in and he's 100% deserved that spot. There's your sort of pyramid of your squad dynamics. Bachmann, Kraus and Bergman, your team leaders. Quite a good selection of highly influential players there as well. And I think it doesn't go without saying that these are essentially the starting 11, really. They all sort of seem to build from the top. And it's only when you get to the other players that you kind of add in a few extra pieces in that maybe aren't used all the time, bar Liadji, who's obviously new and learning the language. So I would maybe expect him next season to progress into a slightly more important role, slightly more influential in the dressing room. But he's only young, so we don't want to put too much pressure on him just yet. The end of season team talk, we need to give now the motivational speech to say well done, and you don't want to get this one wrong because, of course, if I'm being honest, I think we need to push for the playoffs next season. I'm not going to tell them that though, because they'll probably start stressing a little bit. So let's underplay it and just say top half of the table. But in the back of our minds, we all know probably going to want to push for playoffs. And if we don't push for playoffs, going to be annoyed. So I reckon let's go for half, for the top half of the table. That should keep everyone on side. Yeah, that'll do. So this is sort of the breakdown now of what we have to do in terms of squad for next season. I think it's obvious where we need to strengthen. It's still glaringly obvious. Right back is going to be a key position because obviously if Asta goes back in the summer, we haven't got a right back who's above 2 stars. Left back, again, left back's troublesome. Centre half's troublesome. According to the stats, left wing is quite troublesome. Florian Pick, I don't know. I think he's maybe kept himself in that position. And of course, the major concern is going to be Bjarnason. And if he doesn't sign that contract, we're going to need a striker. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on getting someone in there to get us the goals going forward. End of season scorecard from the board and from the fans, a B+. I'll take that. Or obviously gives you somewhere to improve. A- for the squad, B- for tactics. This screen I quite like on FM20 is the commercial activity. I'm quite surprised by this, to be honest, because you're looking at the shirts. Bergman, obviously everyone's buying the number 7 Bergman shirt. Everyone's buying the number 8 Liadji shirt, the 6 Chifchi shirt. Interesting ones. 2 players that we brought in January on loan. The Abdulai 36 is flying off the shelves at number 3, and the Seydal 19. Now, I don't really think they played particularly well, to be honest, but everyone was buying into them, so maybe, from a commercial standpoint, do we have to look to maybe tie them down for next season? I don't know. Are they going to be in my thinking? I'm not sure, to be honest. We do obviously need to start thinking about next season and sort of players that we'll look for. That'll be in the next video. We might look at a few areas and players that we're going to sort of identify. But ultimately, that's the end of season 2. So we look forward to season 3. I hope you're enjoying it. Obviously, do give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel. And of course, any comments, do leave them below. And we'll see you back very soon for another video.